also, and this commentary is like there is the beginning of the virtues and the middle virtues, the end virtue, the virtue of the end. And we first is finished in the middle virtue of this text. It has principally, there's three things. And one part is the preliminary aspect, preparations, and to training our minds and to make the like suitable for in order to practice the Dharma. There is like kind of 7 steps of the preliminary aspect. Start like the concerning about the human existence. And also it's this some time to think about that is very, very important. Because it's like we need to give ourselves something enthusiastic or inspired in order to practice Dharma. Then sometimes our mind is but it's unbelievable. And today we have a great renunciation. Today we have really interest, want to study Dharma, want to reflect on Dharma, want to meditate on Dharma. Something is circumstances or something is mind has changed. Tomorrow you say, I don't want to everything, I don't want to do a Dharma activity, I want to give up. And then it's like difficult to have to again and this enthusiastics. And therefore it's like how to say, to tame our mind is this first chapter of the preliminary aspect. There's 7 steps. Of course the ending is the taking the refuge vows. And then this in the middle, and principally it is like how we can to practice the compassion, or how we can to take the path of the Buddha's path. And also it's like when we say the Buddha, we say the Rishi, direct enlightenment, to he achieved at the level of the truth. Because at the beginning he generated the Bodhisattva and he took the direct path, the path of the enlightenment. In the middle he is applied to practice non-conceptual wisdom or the like a kind of impartial compassion. It is the truth of the path of the truth. And through this, and then he achieved the truth level, which is the realized impartial compassion, non-conceptualization of the wisdom. This truth are he realized. And therefore, in the middle, principally, we are like meditating on the compassions. And basically, it's the compassion is our principal meditation. Like kind of in the like luminosity perspective, it is like all the other objects are the like kind of part of the ourself. And also that is the one Bodhisattva aspect. Or maybe it's like others like same as ourselves. Our like this luminosity aspect of the compassion is like impartial and like equanimity to concerning all the sentient beings. And also it's sometimes all the sentient beings means included Buddha, God, and deities, everything. Sometimes it's like we say it's like, oh, I have compassion to those suffering sentient beings, but I haven't got any compassion to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and the God or deities. That is a big wrong mistake. It's like when we are generating compassions, impartial compassions, it's a benefit for ourselves. When we generate the impartial compassions, it can antidote for our dualistic minds. And we say it's like, okay, Buddha don't need, we separate. Sentient beings we need, there is automatic dualistic, its minds are coming. In this perspective, it doesn't matter Buddha or sentient beings, everything is included, equally to meditate the compassion through them. Even the entirety or non-entities. always like these things, okay, animate or inanimate. And like this is, something is like we can to say, or I haven't got compassion, this computer, but I have compassion to the you are. This is maybe is you making the partialities. And I hate this material, I have compassion to the sentient beings. It's making yourself as dualistic mind. You know, dualistic mind, it is the source of the samsara, it is the source of the confusion, it is the source of the ignorant. In this perspective, you know, everything is included, nothing excluded, to have the compassion, to send into the whatever we have the appearances. And of course there is different degrees of the compassions. That is, and then this opposite of the meditation of the compassions, there are such and such hindrance and obstacles, sometimes like stopper, like kind of occurring to ours. During the maybe your great meditations, there's positive circumstances, negative circumstances arise, and then it's like how we come to defeat, how we come to deal with that. Is there said it's very much yesterday what we studied. Those are marvelous, those are extraordinary. And in Tibet, for example, my schools, first time when I enter into the Buddhist this university, first step we need to memorize this text and need to pass exam. And why it is, for example, when you be alone, when you be in the retreat, when you be at home, when you be any situation, sometimes when you receive the negative circumstances or positive circumstances, and outwardly or innerly what you do, then you remember 37 practice of the Bodhisattva. They says like this, that is the pit instructions can heal your this bad situation or the good situations. It doesn't make increase your inner disturbing emotion of the anger or hatred or disattachment or arrogant proud. You know, arrogant proudness, you are so happy something circumstances, you become the arrogant, proud, and this bring a lot of problems in life. Like this. Then there is the wisdom, non-conceptual aspect. Yesterday we started. I think it's the verse, which one? Verse number, which number was? 22 is like this, is wonderful things to say. Yesterday I said that, you know, there's one quotation, say, from the commentary on the enlightened mind. He said, a mind free of the focus, dwell in the characteristics of space. This meditation of the space is asserted to be meditation on emptiness. This yesterday I said is the characteristics, I don't know what I said, but it's like when you maintain in the characteristics of the space, which kind of you can hold in the characteristics of the space. There's nothing focused on. And that is the non-conceptual wisdoms. And the non-conceptual wisdom aspect, there is we call the supreme wisdom of the emptiness. And yesterday we also is like says many different things. It's like our phenomena, ourself and individual, our body, speech, mind is included, you know, included. That we need to think about that. It's, for example, when we talk about empty nature, it is very, of course, some is very difficult, but some is not very difficult. Just to roughly, it's like a kind of imaginary, conceptually to understand is very easy, very much easy. Why? Because we can yesterday to look on the past, future, present. There's nothing existent. Past is not existent, future is not existent, present there is free of the dwelling place, you know. And it's like a arising, dwelling, and ceasing place. There's no existence. And this kind of, it is obvious. For example, we can to look at the outer world, inner sentient beings, even the ourselves, all the past things, where they are gone. This is, we can easily to think about. Even the, like they are coming, something is moving, their continuation, but nothing left, there's no trace. If all our past is existent, something there, I think space has become very small, contained. We cannot to put there. This is obvious that this is the emptiness. Future, we can to look, and it's really globally to look at these things. It's like where they are going. Space, there's no existence up, down, for direction, or the for directions. There's absolutely, and this, it's difficult to really to realize it, really to understand. But this is the nature of the characteristics. It's like a kind of, there's no nothingness, but like the same as the characteristics of the space. Space is difficult to see. Space is like how we can describe. Space is like there's free from any elaborations. Space is like free from any extreme, but space has such a function. From the spaces, all the 5 elements, 5 aggregations, everything is like uninterruptedly, they are like arising. Like this, the empty nature of the realities is like this. In the essence aspect, there's no focus, there's no kind of reservations, any extreme or any elaborations. But there is like uninterruption of the continuation and unceasings. There is like kind of continued. That one we need to maintain, that is very important. We do not understand that. That is like our like kind of temporary birth, old age, sickness, death. It looks like real, and it's a lot of injured and a lot of like difficult to bear, to like kind of embrace, go through that. Therefore, it's like to need to think more. For example, in the wisdom chapter, the Shantideva, he said that whenever entity and non-entity do not develop before your mind. And also since at that time there are no other features, there's no other features, no other like kind of yellow, green and any kind of features. It's which kind of features? Our past features, future features, present features. This is the absence of the reference point is utter peace. And that time is what we need to searching, what we need to holding, what we are going to meditate. You know, in this Pajina Paramata, this mother of the Pajina Paramata said it's like best meditation is the no meditation. And the best training process of your mind is no training process. And that is, of course, sometimes a little bit difficult and for the beginners, but it's like we need to study that. This is the absolute bodhicitta and the absolute establishment. True that this in the relativism. For example, Buddha, he said the absolute is all the times never ever say the nihilistic way. He said this form is empty, empty is a form. Empty is not different the form, form is not different than the emptiness. There is all the time is inseparability of the form is emptiness. You realize it or not realize it, whatever we have appearances, it is emptiness. Emptiness is this is emptiness. Beside this relative truth, nothing exists than the absolute truth. Sometimes to times difficult, we should to think about, of course, difficult to defeat in our heart, and because it's a deep, profound, and sometimes occur into our minds great peace, great happiness. Through this, we can to control we can make free from the birth, old age, sickness, death. Otherwise, what you are talking about, who can to make free from the birth, old age, sickness, death? I don't know who can to do that. But through this, the realization of the true nature reality, ultimate, absolute truth, which is the supreme empty nature. Truth that is the very, very important to think again and again and again and again. Sorry. And then is I'm going to next verse. Is the sorry.